So here I provide you a picture of the gram stain for your understanding. So in bacteria, before going to further classifications and all, I want you to cover some basics so that quickly we can see the basics and you will get an understanding of what we are dealing with. So gram staining is nothing but to know is it a positive or negative. So every bacteria say that gram positive or negative, it comes in that category. So in gram staining, so initially we use a crystal violet dye. So when we use a crystal violet dye, let it be gram positive, let it be gram negative, it's going to stain the same color. So after that we treat with iodine and decolorize it. At that point gram negative loses its color, whereas gram positive does not lose its color. And then we add a counter stain, safranin. So since gram positive did not lose its color, it retains the same violet color, whereas violet or blue color, whereas gram negative is colorless for the meantime, so it picks up the safranin dye. So at the end it is safranin or red in color, gram negative, whereas gram positive is almost violet to blue in color. So this is how it is. Now the reason this is happening is, if you look at the peptidoglycan layer which is given here, gram positive has a thicker peptidoglycan layer compared to gram negative. Okay, so it retains the color very well. So that is the main difference I want you to emphasize on. Then gram negative has an outer membrane, whereas gram positive does not have an outer membrane. If you at least know these 2 points, that should be fine enough. Okay, a thicker peptidoglycan layer for gram positive. In gram negative, a thinner peptidoglycan layer. Outer membrane is present in gram negative. Outer membrane is not present in gram positive. At least these 2 points, if you remember, that should be fine enough. Okay. Okay. So the bacteria will have 2 types of toxins. One is exotoxin, another is endotoxin. So exotoxin is what is present inside. Endotoxin is its membrane itself. So when the bacteria breaks and the membrane separates into small pieces, fragments, those will serve as endotoxin. So if you know that 1 point, that should be fine. Then based on their need of oxygen, based on their oxygen requirement, bacteria is broadly classified into obligate aerobe, obligate anaerobe, facultative aerobe, aerotolerant anaerobe, microaerophilic, and capnophilic. So I'll come from the bottom. Capnophilic is carbon dioxide loving. So you have to remember Brucella is capnophilic. Brucella is a bacteria that is carbon dioxide loving. Okay. So obligate means strictly they need oxygen. So aerobe means they need oxygen. Anaerobe means they don't need oxygen. So when we grow this in culture, so for obligate aerobes, you have to, in that culture, there has to be some air in that. That's very essential. Whereas in obligate anaerobe, that culture material should be devoid of air. That is very important. Okay. So facultative is the opposite way of obligate. So obligate aerobes are going to be facultative anaerobe. Obligative anaerobes are going to be facultative aerobe. Obligate anaerobe is going to be facultative aerobe. So that's just the opposite of it. So facultative anaerobe obviously means they need oxygen. Facultative anaerobe actually needs oxygen. Facultative aerobe does not require oxygen most of the time. Okay. Then finally, microaerophilic, forget about the aerotolerant. Even in small amount of oxygen, they can grow. That is aerotolerant. Microaerophilic means at reduced concentration of oxygen or without oxygen, they can grow. That is microaerophilic. So that still comes under obligate anaerobe. But obligate anaerobe is total absence of oxygen, they can grow. Whereas microaerophilic can grow in maximum low concentration of oxygen. So So these are the different types. So there are a lot of examples. Let's not talk about the examples now. Then there's something called bacterial growth curve. I would like to show this because there's a chance of getting a picture of it. Here is the picture of bacterial growth curve. So a curve would be given to you, which will have something called a lag phase and a log phase, and finally a stationary phase, which will be followed by a death phase. So it's simple. The beginning of the growth, the peak of the growth, the maintenance of the peak of the growth, and then the death. So that is these 4 phases. If you know these 4, that should be fine. So what is essential from this for your MCQ is lag phase. I said beginning of the growth. So increase in number, increase in size, maximum cell size happens in lag phase. Log phase means biochemically active. This one point I want you to remember. Biochemically active. And exponential growth happens in log phase. Exponential growth. So log phase is also called as exponential phase. Stationary, we know it is stationary. So cell division halts. So that is stationary. Phase of decline is phase of decline. So there is decrease in counts. Okay. So these are the MCQs that you need to know about bacterial growth curve. I repeat, lag phase means everything is increasing. Log means growth just explodes like anything and it is biochemically active. Stationary is a halt, just everything stops. Decline means decline, it is going to decrease. So these are the 4 points that you need to know here. So just this is what I wanted to say before starting of anything. Okay. So then comes based on the shape, the bacteria could be round in shape, that is cocci. So they can be cocci, COCCI, that is round in shape, or it can be rod shape, that is bacilli, or it can be spiral shape, that is spirochete. So basically these 3 points you need to know: cocci, bacilli, spirochete. If you know these 3, that should be fine. Okay. So we'll directly start with bacteriology, that is given in the QRS. Okay. So we saw about gram positive and gram negative. Here is a list of organisms which are gram positive and negative. First, we'll talk about the cocci in gram positive. So gram positive cocci means it can be Staphylococcus, Micrococcus, Peptococcus, Streptococcus, and Enterococcus. So this is what we need to observe, out of which you can ignore this Micrococcus and Peptococcus. You can ignore this Streptococcus. You need to know cocci means we are talking about Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, and Enterococcus. Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, and Enterococcus. And in bacilli, it could be club shaped, it could be spore bearing, it could be filamentous. So club shape means all these organisms: Corynebacterium, Listeria, Erysipelotrix, you don't need to know. Mycobacterium, Propionibacterium, I don't think so, you will need to know. So Corynebacterium, Listeria, Mycobacterium, these 3 you need to know. Spore bearing means Bacillus Clostridium, you need to know. Filamentous means they could be branching or they could be rudimentary. So branching is going to be Actinomyces. Arachnia, you don't need to know. Nocardia, Streptomyces, and rudimentary or absent is Erysipelotrix, Lactobacillus, Eubacterium. So here at least you need to know Lactobacillus. Here Streptomyces, if you don't know, that's fine. So Actinomyces, Nocardia is extensive branching filamentous, and Lactobacillus is filamentous. These 3. So I repeat, cocci means Staphylococcus, you need to know. Streptococcus, Enterococcus, you need to know. And club shape means you need to know Corynebacterium, Listeria, and Mycobacterium. Bacilli means Bacilli spore bearing or Bacillus and Clostridium. Filamentous means these 3: Actinomyces, Nocardia, and Lactobacillus, these 3. So these organisms you should know for your exam. Then comes gram negative, same like that cocci, bacilli are there. So cocci is Neisseria veillonella, I don't think so, that's a question for your MCQ. So bacilli is important. Gram negative means bacilli you need to know. So in bacilli, you have medium-sized coccobacilli like Acinetobacter and Moraxella. Both are important. Tiny coccobacilli like Brucella, Bordetella, Bacteroids, they are also important. Then pleomorphic coccobacillary and filamentous, you have a long list. So Haemophilus, Bacteroids, Pasteurella, Francisella, Actinobacillus, Eikenella, Cardiobacterium, and Flavobacterium. So here you can ignore Cardio, Flavo, Eikenella. You can ignore Francisella, Pasteurella. So you need to remember Haemophilus, Bacteroids, Actinobacillus. At least these three you must remember for your exam. Exaggerated pointed ends can be seen in Fusobacterium nucleatum. You can ignore that, that's fine. Coiled and spheroplastic Streptobacillus and Fusobacterium. So this also in Fusobacterium you can ignore. Streptobacillus alone you can remember, but that might confuse you with gram positive. So that also if you ignore that is fine. Then curved or comma shaped means Vibrio, Campylobacter, Spiralium. Spiralium will not appear in FMG examination. So Vibrio, Campylobacter is important. Uniformly bacillary means Enterobacteriaceae, Pseudomonas, Aeromonas, Alkaligens, and Chromobacterium. You can ignore Aeromonas, Alkaligens, and Chromo. So Enterobacteriaceae and Pseudomonas are important. So overall, if you see, if you take for the gram negative, whatever I mark is important. Acinetobacter and Moraxella is important. Brucella, Bordetella, Bacteroids is important. Haemophilus, Bacteroids, and Actinobacillus is important. Vibrio, Campylobacter is important. Enterobacteriaceae, Pseudomonas is important. So only these names you must remember for your examination. Only these names. Okay. Why I'm saying this now is it's a direct question. If you get a case, for example, a clinical case with, for example, a patient with dysentery, just like that, a patient with dysentery. In exam clue, they are giving that this is a gram negative bacilli. That is the clue they are saying. And you are having the options wise, you are having Listeria as an option. You're having Bacillus as an option. You're having Actinomyces one cause Bacillus. So Lactobacillus you are having as an option, and Vibrio is an option. So directly you can go for Vibrio because you know none of them are gram negative. All those options that was provided are gram positive organisms. So that is where your smartness will revive in the examination.